Hello everyone, my name's Ethonra, and welcome back to Destiny 2. Sorry I'm incredibly late. I really was gonna do this yesterday, but I was just so tired by the time I finished. Thankfully, I'm feeling quite refreshed, and I believe I'll be able to finish Shadowkeep, so that'll be nice. Unfortunately, YouTube is still bugging out. I can't really see what's going on my phone. No idea what that's about or why it's happening, but as long as y'all can see, that's all that really matters. So, funnily enough, one of the things I wanted to talk about was the original Hawk Moon. You would think I would have done that given, what I talked about all yesterday. But every time I thought of it, I got distracted. So I'm gonna try to remember to do that after some of these cutscenes and dialogues play. I think I have the ideal spot in mind where I'll do just that. Before we get too into it, nothing is. I'm a bit stronger. Gear's a bit better. I was able to masterwork my cloak because of all these pieces. I know for a fact I'm going to keep this. I got this. Got that. And everything's just a bit stronger.
Attention all Guardians. Last night we detected a seismic disturbance on the moon. Within hours it was swarming with hive. This plague must not be allowed to spread.
Also, the dawning ship. Funnily enough, it was a complete accident. I was trying to make it look more like a bird to go with the motive that I have. And ironically, it looks more like Shadow the Hedgehog. It's black, red, the boosters are green. So, completely unintentional, but I like it nonetheless. I think it's funny.
The hive pour onto the
Oh, look
surface
at
of
that.
our moon
Got some
from the
blueberries
keep.
here.
That is where our disturbance originated. We will investigate, but first we must regain a lunar foothold. For some of you, this is all too familiar. But do not let the atrocities of Crota haunt you. Whatever this is, we will not let the tragedies of our past repeat themselves.
Now, ordinarily... Oh, hold that thought. Yeah, that's what I thought. As I was saying, ordinarily, I would have this equipped. But unfortunately, because of Bungie's greatest idea, even more so than their idea of fixing things by nerfing them, their magnum opus is sunsetting. So I only really have this around until I can find a replacement for it. But
the hive
thankfully,
appear to be retreating. Commander, these hive are erratic, scattered.
Oh, I didn't have to do anything.
They lack leadership.
Oh, wait a minute.
Crota's
Nope,
death left
I
a
didn't.
void they
How
had
about
yet to
that?
fill. But the disturbance seems to have emboldened them. They must be stopped.
We're on it.
That's actually the first time that has ever happened. Usually because one, I'm here by myself, and two, I didn't think
Hive are
it'd be
coming
getting
from
done
that
that
portal
fast.
up ahead. Let's shut it down.
I hope there's more blueberries around the Pit of Heresy, I think it's called, fighting the nightmares, because that's going to be kind of annoying to do by myself. Also, another thing about Shadowkeep is I usually have to do it by myself. Like I said, I don't bring anyone in here. The blueberries usually aren't here. And I've done it many times, but I've never streamed it. This was before my idea of streaming things. I couldn't have done that shot if I tried.
The Shrieker's vulnerable. Now's our chance.
This is my first time actually using this machine gun. Feels nice. Much more accurate than my last one. Faster
The
reload,
portal is
too.
down, Commander.
Good work, Guardians. Thanks to you, we'll have an LZ up and running soon. In the meantime, press on towards the keep.
Guardian, there's no time to lose.
Ikora?
This disturbance, I know what triggered it. Who triggered it? Eris Morn.
Eris is back on the moon?
Last I heard from her, she was headed into the keep. I don't even know if she's still...
We'll find her. Alive.
I was thinking of taking the sword over here, but then I forgot about the little gift we get.
Before we can gain access to the keep, you'll need to clear the surrounding area. Assistance is on its way.
Commander, was the Vanguard aware of the Hive's activity on the moon before the disturbance?
We've been closely monitoring their progress, but have not yet discovered the purpose of this Scarlet Keep.
Back when this was all still new, this was actually pretty revolutionary. I hope future expansions do something like this. Oh yes. And when I said I was going to talk about Hawkman, the original one, I was going to do it back where those blueberries were, but they finished it so fast I didn't even get a word out. There we go. This is something I actually completely forgot about, just using this tank. Reminded me that we could actually use vehicles in Destiny 1's Crucible. Can't remember if they ever took that out or not. I didn't live there like some of the more well-known YouTubers, but I do remember the very first Crucible match I did was on the moon. And there was definitely vehicles there.
The path is clear. Ready to head into the Scarlet Keep.
Eris came to me. She'd found evidence of something very old on the moon. A potential threat to humanity. Eris insisted on going alone. Just a scouting mission, she said. And I let her. Eris is resilient. She's proven that again and again. Often to her own detriment.
If anybody can take care of themselves, it's Eris Morn. Ikora? We've lost her signal. That's strange. What was that?
So you might notice that these thralls look kind of funny. That's because Ghost is going to pretty much say it in a minute, but they're not technically hive. And that one creeped up on me like one of those rail shooters. Also, this is just a little fun fact. If you stay near this for too long, you start to absorb the light out of it until eventually it turns red. And if it detonates while you're right beside it, it will kill you. A little throwback from the dark below. Yes, it
These
just
hive,
blew up.
they're not actually hive. Their energy signature is entirely unfamiliar. The source of our disturbance should be right around here. What is that? I've never seen anything like it. This must be what Eris was after.
I bet that looks familiar. Of course, canonically, this is our first time encountering it.
Something's wrong. I feel strange. Like someone or something is invading my light. That thing across the way. What is that? There's some sort of massive energy spike here. It's too heavy for us to pass through. Crota? But we killed him.
As far as I know, you can only do this mission one time. Well, per character anyway. So if you ever needed to grind thralls or kills in general, this is probably the best place to do it, because they literally never stop, so long as this fight is going on. And yeah, sure, that's kind of true for just about any boss fight in this game, but these literally don't stop. There are no waves, intermissions, nothing. They just keep coming. Or at least they will, once we do enough damage to him. Speaking of Dark Below, it's ironic we have Crota. I guess not ironic, but that's what I'm looking for here. Nostalgic. I like how he's making a liar out of me too now that I'm on stream. I swear, the numerous times I did this by myself, that Thrall would not stop. And then of course when I say they never stop, they stop for like 45 seconds. See? I barely have a moment's peace to shoot without one of them trying to claw my face off. Well, it's too late now. You went and embarrassed me on stream. Thanks for that. That or they changed it. I wish I could prove it to you. Actually, maybe I could. I might have an old video up somewhere. But the thing is, I usually have this place as kind of a safe spot, and the Thrall are always up here. That's why I'm kind of surprised they aren't. Not that I'm complaining.
He's regenerating? We can't win. We have to go now.
Guardian, come with me.
Yeah, they were much more tame that time. That's really weird.
Eris Morn. What is that pyramid. You've heard the stories of the Traveler's sacrifice, of darkness descending upon humanity. Before us lies a dark remnant of their existence. Was it struck down by the Traveler? Left here on purpose? The truth is ours to discover. Discover how. We find a way inside. A hunter is near. I didn't hear you approach. Ghaul. The fanatic. Crota. Like living nightmares, your past confronts you, Guardian. Old scars reopen around me as well. Phantoms of my friends return with a malice they never truly had. Every one of them, the twisted will of that looming pyramid. We must not let it distract us from our goal. Finding a way inside. Together we have conquered our enemies. We will do it again. Don't die.
So, I actually like Eris more. She can be a bit of a downer sometimes, but she's fun to talk to. The chemistry between her and Cage 6 back in the Taken King was some of the best moments of that entire expansion.
Is that it?
Also, I want you all to keep this in mind, because I'm going to bring it up much, much later in Beyond Light. All of this, how I've included, more specifically the shadows, the nightmares, all that, is clearly the darkness's doing. Bear that in mind later in Beyond Light. Just remember that.
All right, Eris. Where to?
The pyramid's warding is only a temporary inconvenience. We must first understand how it works if we're to pass through it. For that,
The Hive may provide answers. For eons they lived next to the pyramid, and now they've constructed that Scarlet Keep above it. Its existence was clearly no secret to them. Now that it's activated, strange congregations of Hive have begun to appear on the moon. There is undoubtedly a connection.
Then that's where we start.
Another thing, I said the Pit of Heresy. I remembered before I got here. The Pit of Heresy is a dungeon. That's clearly not what this is. This is Sorrow's Harbor.
Eris, we found it. It appears to be a ritual of some kind.
We must learn its purpose. Do not be afraid to engage the Hive.
It's a shame there's a lone blueberry here doing this, because I would love to help them. No, Blue would have got a good laugh out of that. I hate ogres. So if you're wondering what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to stop this fat idiot from sacrificing himself to extend the time limit of what's going on here. Because I need to collect these tablets, and I can't do that if this ends. So I gotta keep the train going. And it's not the end of the world if one does get through. The wizards are especially hard to stop unless you have something like a super ready for them. But anyway, it's not the end of the world. It just takes down some time, and you can get time back by killing these mobs. Also, you can only get so close to that swirling dome, because after a while it'll just push you away. Also, that red orb I picked up, the unstable essence, that's how you do increased damage to the nightmares. Otherwise, they are very tanky.
Eris, it's the nightmares. The Hive are trying to draw them in for the ritual.
How curious. For what purpose?
It's unclear, but they don't seem affected by the nightmares at all. Not like we are.
Fascinating. We must learn how they've achieved that. That's our key to finding a way beyond the pyramid's wall.
Eris? Those screams sounded familiar. Almost like Omnigul. We have to hurry.
Saimota screams as she did the day Omnigul tore her apart and silenced her forever. Our fates nearly intertwined today when a nightmare of Omnigul swept through camp. My survival was a gift granted by the essence you retrieved from the Crota nightmare. Were we to truly harness the power of this essence, it may provide aid in the fight against the nightmares and beyond, to the pyramid itself. It knows we're coming. I can sense it. And we will have the upper hand.
Now, the unfortunate thing about Shadowkeep is the little story itself is not that long, but it is kind of tedious, and it's mostly because of these essences. I'm actually going to try not to do the lost sectors, since I'm going to have to do them later anyway. But hopefully we can make this. Then I'll go to Sorrow's Harbor, and hopefully there's blueberries doing things there. I can help them, they can help me, everybody wins.
This is fire team out.
I'll be honest, I actually don't remember this one. I think I know what to do, though. Nope, that wasn't it. Finally. Finally. Good, that was a good 31%. This might not... No, it definitely will. Hawk Moon helps, though. But yeah, there's one part I'm pretty much dreading because we'll have to do 3 essences at once. And they're not difficult, again, it's just tedious. They're very time consuming. Yeah, that's right. We'll have to see what Osiris has been up to, but because of the story, I think I'm supposed to wait till after Beyond Light to do it. I mean, I can do it now, but again, to try to keep things in the order they actually happen, I believe we're supposed to encounter Osiris after Beyond Light.
I'm so cold.
Yep, this right here, basically an echo of the past. Again, thanks to the darkness. Again, keep that in mind for when we get to Beyond Light.
They took everything. We'll never recover.
And that right there are night bears. Don't need to worry about them right now, but I'll have to keep that in mind. Actually, no, I don't. Because one of those quests I was telling you about, the essences, involves killing nightmares not on the moon. You know, the main place they show up at. So, again, tedious. Pretty sure I mentioned this before, that's going to be a war sat, so don't want to be over there when it touches down.
All Guardians in the sector.
Yep, that's pretty
Census
much why.
picked up a warsat in a decaying orbit. It's too valuable to be left undefended. Get it home.
too sure what was going on there. So, while we're killing time doing this, I guess it'd be a good time to talk about it. So, the original Hawkmoon was not as good as this one, despite the fact that this one is incomplete. Namely because of how shooting worked in Destiny 1. But anyway, more specifically, the main perks, really, it kind of had two that Hawkmoon had. Was one called Luck in the Chamber, which I think is not unique to Hawkmoon, but it does play a part because in addition to what Luck in the Chamber did, made it so that one random bullet in your magazine did extra damage. Something like that. And Hawkmoon's unique perk, unique to it and it alone, was called Holding Aces. I know, how about that? Hawkmoon came out first, perk, Holding Aces, then there's a hand cannon much later called Ace of Spades. Anyway, Holding Aces made it so that you had 2 more Luck in the Chamber bullets, giving you a total of 3. And another really cool thing about Hawkmoon was that it had 13 rounds in the magazine. Now this was a good thing and a bad thing. It was a good thing because 13 rounds in a hand cannon was unheard of, especially back then. It still kind of is. And so that's where it's a good thing, because the more ammo you have, the more damage you'll do to targets like bosses and whatnot. Really sturdy enemies. But at the same time, it's a bad thing because with Luck in the Chamber, or rather Holding Aces, we'll just refer to Holding Aces being all 3, even though it's technically only 2. So with Holding Aces and a magazine of 13, that one means out of 13 shots in any order, you could get your extra damage bullets, meaning they could be in the very middle to the very beginning or all the way at the end. There's no telling because it's completely random. And that's why it's a bad thing, because the more bullets you have, the more you'll have to cycle through. You might not get a single Luck in the Chamber shot until, like, I don't know, 6 rounds left in your magazine, which obviously is a good thing because that means the other 2 are going to be coming really, really fast. But you get what I'm saying. It was a double-edged sword. And I'm just going to cancel this since we don't need it right now. And one unique thing, even among Hawkmoon itself, I kind of hate they took it out of the game, but I do understand, because it was just unfair. Even though people had literally no control over it, save for using Hawkmoon, they couldn't do this at will, which is ironic because this Hawkmoon can, and it basically does what the glitch did. Excuse me, I don't know why my voice is so dry today. But yeah, so the glitch with Hawkmoon is that, well, it was, they've been fixed it, but the glitch was that you're holding aces and Luck in the Chamber. Again, we're just going to put them together. You're holding aces bullets would all be packed into one bullet. I don't know the exact math, so I'm just going to spitball numbers. Let's say your luck in the chamber shot does double damage, okay? So what the glitch did was that it would put all three of your holding aces into one bullet. So it would do 6 times normal damage. It basically guaranteed a one shot if you shot someone in the head.
Do not wait to speak.
Sound familiar? So I do like how they turned the glitch into an actual perk for Hawkmoon.
In the depths of the Hellmouth, my very soul was shattered into pieces. It was all I could do to try and pick them up again. But some pieces, as you can see, required replacing. I must call upon one of them now, an ancient talisman imbued with the magic of the Hive. Without it, the true power of the Nightmare Essence could not be harnessed. Through their union, we take our first step toward unearthing the secrets of the pyramid. But it is only a step. Further essences require further Hive magic, neither of which I possess. Acquire both, and our path to the pyramid should present itself.
Alright, so the Nightmare gear itself isn't what is really special. It kind of is because you kind of need it for a mission. But the main thing right here is the Dream Bane mod. Reduce the damage you take from Nightmare bosses. And because my level is so high, right now it kind of negates that, so it's pretty much a non-issue. But I do need to hold on to it because you cannot properly start the signature mission without it. And if I accidentally delete it, I'll have to grind for it again. So, future reference, if you ever do this, make sure you lock this. Do not dismantle it despite its low level, because you will at least need it to get into the mission. So, another thing about Hawkmoon is, obviously, Destiny 2, it looks better because, you know, it's more polished, more detailed, especially when you have your big boy damage procced, the feathers on the default one glow. Kind of wish the one I'm using had that. Anyway, in Destiny 1, ironically, the Ace of Spades actually replaced Hawkmoon for me. I'll get into it in a second because there's about to be some dialogue.
Blind devotion is a dangerous thing. But when it came to Crota, Omnigul knew no other way. She raised for him an army of Hive and tore apart throngs of Guardians. Omnigul left much suffering in her wake. Suffering the pyramid now uses against us. It expects us to fall to that which we have conquered. Not today.
Nah, that was a waste. Should have used it on them. But you see what I meant about them being really tanky? Of course, now that I have an unstable essence, they're basically like actual acolytes now. Oh, a little too high. That's kind of a problem I have. It's kind of funny. I rarely ever aim too low, like shooting them in the neck. I almost always, when I miss a shot like that, I aim too high. Which is weird. I probably should try to, obviously I'm going to, but I should try to fight that urge, because worst case scenario, I just shoot them in the upper chest. At least I'm doing damage, as opposed to aiming too high and doing nothing. So I'm going to try to get into the habit of doing that. Say, I really didn't want to waste that on them. But yeah, the Ace of Spades in Destiny 1 actually replaced Hawkmoon for me, because the Ace of Spades was actually more fun to use. And by the time I got my Hawkmoon, it had already been nerfed, like, a lot. They removed the glitch, which to me was no big deal, because you couldn't trigger it anyway. It was just funny when it happened. I think this was also when, well, I mean, they've been doing it, but really more so when Bungie started fixing everything by nerfing it, and they destroyed the range for hand cannons. I don't remember exactly what it was, but all I remember is by the time I got Hawkmoon, it was too late. Ace, on the other hand, was fun to use mostly because it had so much flair. Specifically, I guess I could show, why not? I'll show you right now, just so you get what I'm getting at. So Ace, when you just swap to it like an ordinary hand cannon, but when you reload it, it does that twirl, that spin, and you just saw it right there with Last Word. Last Word, on the other hand, unique firing animation, reloads like a normal hand cannon. But when you swap to it, or you bring your ghost out, it's about anything that involves you putting the gun away. And just for fun, I would used to do something like that. Because remember, from third person, it just looked like I'm spinning my gun over and over again, so that was pretty fun. But the Last Word and the first curse, I believe they only did it when you drawed the weapon. I think they still reloaded normally. Well, Ace of Spades only does it when you, this one only does it when you reload. But in Destiny 1, Ace of Spades had both of them. You would spin it when you drew the weapon and you would spin it when you reloaded it. Why they decided to separate it, I don't know. Maybe because they figured the last word wouldn't get enough love, being one of the strongest PvP weapons in the game. I don't know. But Ace of Spades used to have both. It really still should. You know, being the ultimate hand cannon and all. Okay, what's the most annoying enemy? What to kill first? There we go. Yep, just sit on it. That works. I love how hard this weapon hits the enemies, because when I'm using Ace... Oh, yeah, that's right. I was gonna say, when I'm using Ace of Spades, they don't ragdoll like that. Yeah, like that. But that's because Ace of Spades, when you headshot them, they disintegrate. I do it so often, I actually forgot. I'm like, Ace of Spades doesn't do that. It's like, oh, that's right, because there's nothing left behind when I do that to them with Ace. See what I meant about them being tanky? Takes a bit to shoot them, and they don't really care much for flinching. Unless you do this. A flash kick will flinch just about anything. So you can imagine a nightmare boss is pretty much the same, except they're more annoying because they can randomly turn invincible. And you have to jump into the same freaking pair of pants that they're in just to get them to spawn. Now, despite my level, I do need to be careful because the fact that the Dreambane mod is supposed to reduce the damage you take from these things, it tells me one of two things. Either being a virtue of being a nightmare, they do increase damage, or the fact that, no, actually I take back what I said, that's pretty much it. Yeah, when they do that, they turn invincible and they summon nightmare elves. Which is just as entertaining as it sounds. Oh yeah, something else. I forgot my machine gun had Firefly. That random explosion actually made me laugh. I forgot about that. I don't think a machine gun needs Firefly. I'd rather have something else, but I mean, it helped, didn't it? Of course you would. I know I keep saying it, but I really can't wait for Hawkmoon to be finished. I'm very curious what his catalyst is going to be. I'm hoping it's something like I suggested. Not just for the sake of bragging rights, because I think that would really, really help Hawkmoon out. Consistently get the big boy damage. I hate when that happens. Say,
Eris,
come
the
on,
nightmare
auto
omnibus
aiming
taken care
tether.
of. For now, anyway.
I'd like to end
Did
this
you
today.
retrieve any further essence?
We did. This time unique to this nightmare.
I see. Then we will uncover its secrets together. Until then, the Hive await you inside the Scarlet Keep. Let me know what you find within.
Oh, I was a second too slow.
The Hellmouth speaks. You must answer. Always be prepared. May it prepare you. I bide my time. Why are you here?
Interestingly, the Scarlet Keep is also the Nightfall this week.
potent energies are radiating from the Scarlet Keep and its grand tower. Power as I've never felt. Foul rituals are doubtlessly underway inside. And if we're fortunate, the hive magic we need to create more armor.
Whoops, thought he was the acolyte.
Wait, is that Eris? We've got eyes on a daughter of Crota.
It's Hashladun. It must be. Only she could be responsible for the Keep's emanations. She was presumed dead after Crota's fall. If she's alive, if she's here, the Hive's designs are dark indeed. Whatever rituals are underway in the tower must be stopped. And Hashladun must be eliminated.
Big boy damage. I'm glad those two went together. I was concerned the blueberry, or the level 7, might have trouble if he went by himself.
The bridge is lowering. Let's move.
Had to remember I have auto-loading holster there. Holster.
There's Hashladoon, falling back deeper into the keep. We've got her on the run.
It appears that way. But
But what?
something is amiss. Continue your pursuit, Guardian. With caution.
Here she comes.
I just thought another really good effect of the catalyst would be if this thing had heavy caliber rounds, because being able to stun an enemy like that in order to make it easier to pull off the headshots, that'd be really handy.
Eris, it's over. Hashladoon is dead.
This is a relief to hear. But Hashladoon's presence is no coincidence. The Hive must have grander ambitions for the Pyramid's influences.
She had a tablet on her, one that describes a cryptoglyph. I have no record of such an item.
Well done, Hunter. You almost surprised me. Do not startle me. I might hurt you.
That's really weird. I was wondering why this didn't progress. Apparently you have to check your triumphs instead of the quest that tells you specifically to do whatever. Speaking of quests, this is kind of annoying me.
My mind floats free on a sea of ash and bone. Approach, Guardian. What have you come to learn? Face the darkness of Luna with strength, Guardian.
There we go. Why couldn't they just be together? Really glad I held off on doing those.
Welcome, Crota's End. Use it well. Speak quickly, then return to your search.
My ghost. Where's my ghost? The moon is hollow. The ruins dry as bone. There's nothing left.
I see what you were doing. Didn't mean to do that, but whatever. See what I meant? How this expansion isn't really long, it's just tedious. It can't just be go to quest to quest to quest. I gotta do all of this. It's not that it bothers me, it's kind of boring. Because like I said, I've done this so many times. I only have motivation to do it now simply because I'm doing it on stream. But I've done it so many times, I honestly don't even remember how many times I've done it. And it doesn't get any funner the more I do it. That makes me feel a little better. The one time you're looking for enemies, am I right? Fine, we'll pick a simpler one. There we go. That's more my speed. While I'm at it, I might as well head to Sorrow's Harbor.
Is anyone there? Come in! The Hive. They're everywhere.
Another little fun fact. You actually couldn't fast travel when you had quests available. Why on earth they didn't just have that a thing in the first place? I don't know. I guess because Bungie, but thankfully they decided to add that because that was very annoying, especially for people like me who don't know where we're going. So fast traveling helps a lot, and the fact that you can't fast travel unless you finish your patrol or cancel it, bit annoying. Remember that thing about me saying it's tedious and the one time I'm looking for enemies? As much as I hate that it has to come down to doing a nightmare hunt that's just doomed to fail, so be it.
Is anyone there? Come in! It's useless. Luna is lost. I can't keep...
Come, sharp one. I have decided to impart upon you some of my knowledge. Listen well. The Hive and their rituals. Like moths to a flame, they know no other way. They try time and again to revive the souls of the dead.
Yeah, it was getting 12 o'clock in the morning, so here's what I'm gonna do. Because again, oh gosh, it's so tedious, so boring. Once I get to the part that requires me to do 3 of these dang essences at the same time, I'm gonna stop. And then maybe tomorrow, because I have plans tomorrow, I'll have to check with Blue to be sure, but either sometime tomorrow or Friday, because I might not do it Thursday either, I'll continue it. I'm just happy I got Forsaken out of the way. That was obviously my favorite one. Just barely being beaten out by Beyond Light.
Guardians in the sector. Sensors have picked up a warsat in a decaying orbit. It's too valuable to be left undefended. Get it home.
Thankfully, this one does not count. This is for a weapon. It's not necessary. This one is for armor. It is.
I can't keep running.
This is Fire Team Alpha! Does anyone read me?
thankfully, I think I'm one step away from what I was talking about. So I should just have to do this mission, then get the 3 essences, and then I'll call it a night.
The pyramid trembles under the weight of our progress. With every victory, we draw closer to conquering it. The spoils of Hashladoon's death are twofold. We now know what the hidden swarm have been using to shield themselves from the nightmares, and where it lies. The cryptoglyph. If ever there was a more powerful set of runes the Hive used to conjure their magics, I have yet to learn of it. Of course, to acquire it, we must delve into horrific depths. Our cryptoglyph lies at the bottom of the Hellmouth. Until we speak again.
I'm sorry, madam. I am not equipped to understand.
By the way, those little pieces of glimmer you see on the ground, that's apparently the ability of arguably the most unique sparrow in the game. You can only use that ability during the dawning. But basically what it does is it leaves a small trail of glimmer behind you when you perform certain actions. It's not significant. It's not like it's dropping 50k per pellet or anything like that, but it's still nice. It's a nice little, puts a nice smile on your face to see something like that. It has charm.
The catacombs. Somewhere within that hive-infested labyrinth lies our cryptoglyph. If we hope to go beyond the pyramid's warding, we must retrieve it, but be warned. Those who enter the rotting depths of the catacombs often fail to return. In that tomb, light does not find a way.
That's our entrance. Over on the other side of the pit.
not sure where he was looking, but
Never are the
I'm not
catacombs
complaining.
unmanned, as they play host to the most potent of hive magics, including our cryptoglyph. We know not what the hive plan to do with power as dangerous as this, but they must not find success. The dark rituals of the hive pose a threat we can't currently afford to face. If their goals align with ours, it is of utmost importance they be halted immediately.
Gotta admit, those weird shadows, yeah, like that, just a little unnerving, especially the first time you're here. Oh, hey, True. I didn't expect you to drop by. Well, I'm doing alright. Unfortunately, I guess it's not your fault. I did stream pretty late. I didn't know it was as late as it is, but I'm actually going to stop after this mission because it is really boring having to do this for like the 42nd time. Yeah, it has. That's only because I haven't gotten a chance to really do anything, because that which must not be named acts up. And lately, the first time in what feels like 2 months or so, it's actually starting acting right again. And at the risk of jinxing myself, that's all I'm going to say about it.
It was within these depths that Crota and his brood stripped me of all that I cared for. My fire team. My friends. Only I remained, beaten and broken.
Yep.
The guilt of survival lingers. But you must not. Onward.
Pyramid. My light. It's happening again.
Focus. The pyramid distracts, nothing more. When you have the cryptoglyph in hand, I will teleport you out.
phantoms, just like those haunting Eris. Faceless guardians watching us. They're nothing more than a distraction. That's the cryptoglyph. Grab it. Eris, we have the cryptoglyph. Teleport us out. Eris, are you there? Run!
What I wouldn't give for a rocket launcher right now. That's better.
Guardian,
We're here. Cryptoglyph and all.
I thought you'd... I'm sorry. The immense darkness of the pyramid kept me from you. But we must not waste time. With the cryptoglyph in hand, we stand a chance against the pyramid. Bring it here and let us make use of it.
Did I
don't care. You reek of the Hellmouth. That armor will prove useful in the battles to come. But the pyramid demands greater power to enter it. 3 further pieces of armor. 3 more nightmares. These diseases torture the moon with their very presence. Send them back to the past where they belong, and in return they shall provide us with power.
Yeah, that's a classic meme. The moon's haunted. So haunted, in fact, I'm really not in the mood to deal with it right now. Oh yes, we can't forget this iconic scene.
I had to see it with my own eyes. How long has it sat in silence, watching us?
much too long?
I can't help but feel responsible for this, Eris. If I hadn't sent you here...
Your concern is noted. That my fate is my own responsibility. And we both know you didn't come here to apologize.
I came to tell you, you were right. It seems those responsible for our collapse are coming back.
Riot! You're all insufferable! Save your torment for someone who gives a damn.
Eris, the Vanguard is at your disposal.
And if you'll excuse us, Ikora, we have work to do.
Guardian, whatever she needs.
I'm glad to see you safe. Welcome, Slayer of Oryx. Cade and I agreed on one thing, at least. A hunter's place is not behind walls. We are not Titans. You and I belong out here, where we may touch the wilds.
Yeah, I don't even remember where this is. I'll just do it in my own time.
Well,
but yeah, that's what I'm going to call it for tonight. Thanks, True, for dropping by. I'll be sure to try to stream much earlier so you can actually enjoy yourself. Thank you all for tuning in, and I'll see you around.